Greetings to Ghanaians. My name is Anas Arimi Kofi Anas, aka Anas Look Alike. This is my first documentary, and I've named it Number One. It saddens my heart to do this documentary as number one, but therefore, looking at the dangers that this could have brought, I therefore decided with my team to do our first documentary. Although we had our previous plans, and this wasn't supposed to be the number one, but with the kind of potentiality, the threat this documentary entails, we therefore decided to use it as our first documentary. And that's the reason why we've brought out this. My crew members are called the Mosquito Eye. Now, over the past years, Anas Arimi Yao has been my role model. And I don't know if I'm the only Ghanaian and a patriotic who sees nothing wrong, absolutely wrong, with whatever Anas is doing. But as a serious nation and a good nation, we should have supported Anas. But because the selfish interest of some individuals therefore decided to downplay the image of Anas Arimi Yao Anas. Therefore, I decided to be his role model, for him to be inspired, and for him to also know that we have good Ghanaians who support whatever he's doing. But with my kind of Anas, I have bad temper. If you joke, I will insult you. That's the truth. Now, my first documentary, I named it Number One. And it was put together by my team after a few investigations. Now, it is about Nana Agyemang Badu and the Asante Hene. As the documentary is going on, I will further elaborate it in our Ghanaian language for people to understand it. Nana Agyemang Badu is the paramount chief of Doma, and Otumfuo Osei Tutu is the Asante Hene. But Nana Agyemang Badu, I don't know how he got his certificate. I don't know how he got his studies to become a judge, which therefore he talks anyhow. With me, that have not pursued education further, even as with poor background, who couldn't even further our education, I can stand legally against Nana Agyemang Badu and win against him pertaining to this particular subject. I see a shallow-minded person who is being supported by money, and therefore he has become a judge. This is the reason why we say Ghana, our system is not working. I've never gone to school. I've never been into school. By my level of thinking, how I perceive things, and how I'm able to dissect things, digest it, and analyze it, I see this man, excuse me to say, is a shallow-minded person. Why am I saying this? He is a judge, so legally, he knows everything about the judge or about the legal system. Number two, he is a chief, and culturally, he knows everything about the chieftaincy system. He was suggesting that there was no king in Ashanti region or in Ghana. Let's put it in that aspect. Now from here, I would like Ghanaians to make me speak in the Asante language for people to understand. Okay, Pedamasi. Now, yekasa ohina, wine ohine. Yekasa ohina, wine ohine. As Anas Arimi Kofi Anas, who did my investigation, I realized that ahenie ye ni ade e fle na ahenie se de firi solo bai yi nipa na hyehye be bia ni ho ahenie nte se awo aye beka say by nature ahenie enya awo. There are 4 facts na should know, Ajimanbedu should know. Number 1, ahenie enya awo enye by nature. Enipa na hyehye ahenie ne de mara ato ho. So let's go back to the history of Asante. Asante is not a town, it's not a village. Asante ni enye kuro baako. Asante ni eye oman kese. Edie na mepa kire. De mepa kire ni se kane no ni eni ade fle na Asante hene. Twum antwi kobia manfi oti akenten obiri yeboa osei tutu. Saa bre ni so nyina ni eni ade fle na Asante. Ne ye obia ni nikuro na Ajimanbedu nti ni. Ne ye obia eni nikuro. Nti ne wo mampon kuro, bekwa ikuro, adwesu kuro, ofensu kuro, kumawu kuro, kwaman kuro. Obia ni nikuro, individuals dwabene na sefo. Eno omu nyina beka bomu. Omu nyina beka bomu di omu tumi no. Ehye nipa baako nsa. Se nipa koro no meye omu nyina ehene. Enti no yekase Asante hene a na Ajimanbedu mfa nto ni tiri ni se mampon hene eka Asante hene ho. Bekwan hene eka Asante hene ho. Omu nyina di omu kuro ena aka bom. Se nipa baako embra meye omu hene. Saa ne yekase Asante hene na se ekire. Omu nyina ka omu tumi abom di ama nipa baako. Nti kasa Asante hene onni Kumase so. Ene ye ni se wodi adweso so. Na mampon hene se na doma hene se mampon hene kola enhye otumfo ase nya sa na tie. Omu nyina ka tumi na bom. Enti ni the fight waka tumi na bom se ye di tumi na manipa baako. Enti se uo Volta region, or northern region, or central region. Na mu nyina mudi mutumi the president. Don't expect the president to say the president, the bona half of people is not part of the Presidency Act. Or they are not part of the system. So far as you sign the treaty. Now, if you remember, Volta region initially wasn't part of Ghana. But when they became part, now that means when they became part legally, afeidie ye bibia ye account, now they are recognized as Ghana. That's how the presidency, the chieftaincy also work. If that was the case, that one is different. Nana Ajimanbedu should listen very well. So Sana Nketia dia inke ye total different. Tisa mampon hini ti o se no. Onti minga so odi adwoso so da bi. Se Sana na Ajimanbedu peso wakan dia no wo ho. By way the enipa na kika mu nyina tumi abom dia mani pa baako. Inti why then do you come and tell me say no? Oh, enipa ni tumi nso nchen ye. That is one fact Ajimanbedu should know. Second aspect, and he said, I read some article on Facebook which somebody, a stupid person, was saying, say the Asante Kingdom collapsed in 1900 and the Asante Confederacy was signed in the 1935. So now that is what we are using. If that is what we are even using now, there is no problem with that. Right now, as we are there, if 10 people decided that we are 10 people, we want to establish our chief, and they have their customs and everything, there is nothing wrong with it. So even if the Asante Kingdom collapsed, and Yasa sign confederation, ahimfu we nyina sabe sign said this is our leader, what is wrong with that? Simple Yasa Asante Kingdom negu, and Yasa sign for front would be Yasa sign say we any leader. Wona one channel, how ne say. 8 man point he say this is my leader. Address he say this is my leader. Wona one chain na wa hinie no ba bia ekwa ye ba bia okraman ni didi no. What is your problem? That is number 2. Ain't you know, Ajiman Bedu should know well. Number 3, Ashanti Kingdom or Asante Hene is not Asante region head. Ajiman Bedu don't understand that thing. That thing, I don't know the reason why everybody who is talking about the issue don't reason like that. And yet Ashanti region da hono no ye omo hene. No. Let me give you a typical and a very clear example for you to understand. Assuming say president and I said the government Ashanti region was Ashanti region so. Nti say yen san chim na efiri bank ma ekwa atonsu akwa akopim lake side hono. Yenye no one area, yen friend lake side. Na efiri abrepo enso ekwa akopim ebia yen fa ne say ebu akwa. Yen che honi se na ebe ya yebetimi a treaty omunyina. If the government do that, that does not mean say sa part na Asante Hene ababidi no. Sometimes Asante Hene could be lakeside. That does not mean or your monko hene. No. If they divide the region into 20, that does not mean say baby Asante Hene could in that particular place in your money. No. So Ajiman Bedu should know that. The reason why we create regions is for administrative purpose. Say never your government we don't create regions for chieftaincy's sake. Now because we have a chieftaincy act and there's National House of Chiefs, engineer the matter to region biano. That does not mean say the Uto region we are near the Uto region we are not. Now say your chieftaincy go beyond that. We should limit it. No. So Asante Hene is not Asante region chief or king as suggested by Nana Ajiman Bedu. And the last one, if you're a judge, I'm going to Nana Ajiman Bedu personally. If he's a judge, I am shamed for the judiciary system, for such a person to become a judge. I don't know how you got it, but I can say on authority that money influenced his position, number 1. And if he's a chief, I'm also shamed for the cultural system of that particular clan. Now let's go to the judge system. If there is something wrong with the constitution, assuming the constitution has provided the necessary things needed for the security of the president, that is constitutional. So in case an amendment is needed, you don't go out shouting out. They make a way to change the security system of the president. But we have the right channel to pass. Minko Skuda. But I know that you can write a report to the parliament. You are a judge. So yes, the Supreme Court decree can change the constitution or it can be used. So one thing as a judge you have to know, you can call all the judiciary system, you channel out your grievances, you document on a paper, you send it to parliament, a committee will see to it, they will deliberate on that, an amendment will be made. If there is a voting, a majority vote for your decision, we will send the law back to the president, he will gazette it, then it becomes a law. I know these things. So if we have a problem with Asante Hene, you said you have a problem with the name Asante Hene. So talking it out, the only thing you should have done is you follow the right channel for the Asante Hene to be removed. Number 1. Number 2, as a chief, amamra kwan so. Say ye bibi na wonti ase de na wo say we. Ofle wahemfu nyina. You go to national, not even regional House of Chiefs. You go to National House of Chiefs. You write to the highest authority that I have problem with this. Iti yentena se ne yenka ho asem no munchirechirem na mente ase. Then the National House of Chiefs will call all the chiefs in the country. Then they will start deliberating on that. Their final decision can make a major impact. But when you go out, sit on social media, grant interviews just for you to get a name, then you tell me that you're doing the right thing. Excuse me to say you were a stupid fool. Excuse me to say you were a very stupid fool with a low IQ. Because upon everything that I see, I'm seeing nothing. Whatever you are saying is absolutely trash. And I don't know how you became a judge. So looking at these two things, and legally there is a way you need to have presented your case. And you have problem with me. Why don't you go to wherever the constitution was made? And let's take your fact, for instance. You said you are the leader of a Sumenja, and you are saying that one person cannot go from one region to go and be a superior of another region. And I'm saying it again. Regions are not created for chieftaincy's sake. Regions are not created for chieftaincy's sake. And it didn't know what I have for a chiwo. Now we claim a Sumenja shawonsa. If that is the case, sometimes you think about people, you don't understand them. If that is the case, you are Brahafo, a Sumenja is in Ashanti region. Why then do you say that they are under you? If you think that chieftaincy is for regional peoples, now there is a chief in Côte d'Ivoire who is under Asante. That doesn't mean that that chief, wherever he is in Côte d'Ivoire, that doesn't mean that Côte d'Ivoire is for Asante. No. But Nahini no ye otum for there. He pays homage to him. That is how the chieftaincy works. Now, the Queen of England was the leader of, I don't know whether Norway or he was the, I don't know, ceremonial head of Canada also. That doesn't mean Canada belongs to him. But that's how kingship and chieftaincy, the monarchy system, that's how it works. It works how. Now, the essence of doing the right thing and you start shouting, then, excuse me to say, Ghana system is very stupid and foolish. That's why you became a judge. If, let's assume that you were called the Asante, would you have problem with that? So you are trying to make a name for yourself. Now, Asante Kingdom was there before the constitution. Note that. Doma was there before the constitution. All the other chiefs were there before the constitution. So the constitution already knew their powers and their limitations. So it set boundaries to each and every one, their powers and their limitations. You were referring to why they said Asante Hene and the paramount chief. Now, if they say the president and the cabinet ministers, that doesn't mean that the cabinet ministers have equal powers as the president, if you don't know. Whenever we are talking about the executives, we normally say the executives, that entails the president and the cabinet ministers. That doesn't mean that when we say the president and the cabinet ministers, that shouldn't tell you that president and the cabinet ministers, no. We are putting it in a certain category, but the word and differentiates them. I don't know why you cannot understand this thing. If they are cabinet ministers, so will be the Yasuchen will be and constitution will state it. But the president, that's the reason why his name is excluded from the others. Asante Hineni to Nation, that's the reason why it is excluded from the other paramount chiefs. So if you fail to understand that, then you're a stupid fool. Now, Where am I going with all these things? This thing has the potential to cause an ethnic war. Whenever an Asante person goes to Doma, the way Bono people hails them, over Asante for them, the Bono people, they feel themselves to be part of the Asantes, and historically they are part of them. Now, because of what this man is doing, Asante people have begun to develop hatred for Bono, and the Bono people has in return developed hatred for Asantes because of this what this man is doing. Me, that I'm not part of any region, but because of this man, what this man is doing, I've begun developing certain hatred for the Bono people. So one person, you're doing this is a security threat. And I'm telling you on authority that you are a fool. If this is how you want the issue to be addressed, wherever I am being called upon, legally and per this case, if I stand man to man with this man, I will win argument over him because he don't have a case. Whatever he is saying is absolutely trash. My name is Anas Aremiyao Anas, and I've named this number 1. This will be my first documentary. I have a whole lot of documentaries where some will fish out the corrupt system in Ghana. But with this, I needed to treat it with much urgency. Thank you for your time and understanding. Signing out.